All right. Now we're horizontal. Might be better for you to see. Let me scooch over a little bit here. Okay, so we got our flint. I put it in the water bucket. This is raw Flintridge. Technically now water treated, so not raw. But if you leave it dry out, when I spalled it, there's a couple videos of me spalling this. I'll put them up in the shorts or something. It's hard now, but the water helps. I don't know if it helps transmit the shock waves, but you can see I started to work it. I wasn't going to video it. I'm working down this. This is where the bulb was. And I worked that down. I'm getting that lens shape, and for me, that's what I go for first. I try to get a lens shape and a smooth surface, and then after that, it's actually pretty easy if you deal with the hard parts first. And I don't know if you can tell, but you can see where it's starting to dry out. It's turning like white. Whenever I see that white, I just dip it and let the water soak back in. Um, Before, guys had told me, "Oh, it'll take forever to walk to rehydrate and stuff." It doesn't. It soaks in a day. This was it in this bucket for one day, and it's you can see where I flaked it. It's wet all the way in. Now I'm doing some experiments where I put different uh, salts in the water, and I'm gonna leave the flint dry out, put it in the water, and let the water carry the salts into the flint, and hope I can get some fancy colors like purple and stuff like that you don't see in flint, and then have it be all the way through the stone. So, with no further ado, let's talk about what we're using. Right now, we're using my steel indirect. Lots of people have seen this. It's pointy, but not pointed. And I have to thank Mr. Crafty. I never thought about using steel or an indirect stick till I saw his videos. So I'm not going to pretend like I invented all this. I never even invented the water treatment either. That's in DC Waldorf's book. Water treating Flintridge. Heat treating makes it like a 2, and water treating makes it 3 to 4. But you can see a little bit of water does a lot for this stuff. And so, no further ado, I'm just going to start napping. And hopefully you like what you see. I keep my water bucket handy in case I need to dip off any. Now, this is a heavy. This is 1/2 inch iron pipe, 1 1/4 copper cap, filled with lead to here, and then brass on the other end. I don't use the brass anymore. Well, I do a little bit, but I use this as my baton. I like it because I can go fast or I can go slow, and it's got enough mass, way more mass than one of the plastic sticks or an antler or anything. And one of the things about when you're using steel that I believe is you need a heavy mass slower, and that transmits the energy, in my mind, like antler, because it squishes a little and gives it time to absorb. Well, this does the same. It goes slower, but more force. So, at least that's what I think. And then, and this stuff will be sharp. Now, what I do when I'm doing this Flintridge Raw, steep platforms, and just enough grinding to, take the edge off. And you'll see it shooting the bucket. Uh-oh. Cats are fighting. I might have to go take care of business. We got some strays have been coming over and beating up our cats. See, now you can see that scar goes right there. And you can see where it's drying out. It's white. And Yeah, my main goal now, see, I have this natural platform right here. And I gotta, it's not really a turtleback, but it's thick in the middle. And, it's flat on, plain no convex. Just like that will be a good knife. So, we're going to try some things. We still have our iron boppers, which I really like. And what I'm doing is I'm steepening that platform. I'm steepening it a lot to make it a lot steeper, because I don't want to bash into the rock. I want to bash down alongside the rock. See, this is a thin flake. I'm just trying to get something going here. Not really steep enough. So I tip it back the other way. Now, you see, I made a cone on purpose to give me a really steep platform. And I'm going to try and shoot a flake down through here. Now, see there? It shot over. Took off a lot of my humpy spot. And I still have a steep platform. I just need to knock off like I said, I'm not going to film this whole thing because, it's snapping. I'm trying to get away from. Now, I didn't catch it all. But you see, I did them flakes. And I set it up. I did them flakes. I moved the edge a little. And I got a nice convexity and a curve. And then I came to this really thick spot where you can see where I hit. I don't have a big bulb. I got a flake. It ran out, went over the top, and down the other side. And took a lot of that hump off. And I work Flintridge raw. I work it raw a lot, especially for my hunting points. I used copper before, and basically I would just try to get a flake that was thin enough and whatnot to be an arrowhead. And but now that I've discovered steel, I don't have to. See, now I made a spot there. Now that when I hit this, I think I can go clear through. Might be a little high. I might have to come back to that. Yeah, see, I took off the overhanging weak spot. I don't think I'm going to do that, but I'm going to go to this and try and come down here, and hopefully it'll wrap. That's a naturally steep spot. Yeah, it might be too weak. Yeah, it's the wrong way. So we'll come here. We'll take a steep flake. So you took that steep flake. Now I got a good edge. Wind it back a little. Come right here. Doesn't feel right, but let's see what happens. Yeah, didn't feel right. So let's isolate a little bit. Let's see if we can get a major removal. Oh no, I hinged. It wanted to. See, it went there and it spread out. It would have took that whole cap. So now we got to find another way. Let's take this down. That's not going to be the point. Take that down. Got a nice steep. Let's see if we can make that run down and pick up where it left off. Ooh, oh, did we get it? Look, it's at least you can see the crack right there, all that. What we'll do, we'll try and cheat. Put that back on there. And we'll pinch this. Pinch it for all it's worth. I felt it go, guys. I felt it go. Let's see. I hope you see that. Hinged. I put that piece on there and I pinched it hard so it wouldn't come out. And it took my lump off. Got me thin. Now I just got a little bit right there, which I could get with that platform. This platform that I didn't want to hit before is good now. Now I come here. I'll hold that spot. I'll pinch. See there? Now look how much thickness I removed. That's how you do raw flint. And that's how I do raw flint. So knock that even. Now we got another platform right here. It looks a little iffy, but we're going to try it. It's pretty steep. We're going to try it, and we're going to pinch, and we're going to try it, and hopefully we could get this tip bulge off. Now we got some of it. But I hope you enjoy the work in raw Flintridge, because I really do. I like it better because the colors aren't that important to me. You can see it drying out. See the edges turning color? The thinner I make it, and you can see that it's wet inside. So to the guy that told me once you dry the rock out, it takes forever to get wet, the minerals won't go in or whatever, just know that I do a lot of experimenting with stuff. And that's all I'm going to say. Yeah. We're getting down there. There's our thickness. Not too shabby. Now we just got a little bit on what was going to be the butt end. I mean, now it could be whatever. See, and that was a small piece of Flintridge. And if you could look, I haven't lost any length. And I barely lost any width. But I lost a lot of thickness. So, you can do it too. You can do it too. Now, you see, once you start getting the right shape, the flakes just fall off. See that? We're losing thickness. We're not losing width. Look, there's still the knife edge. And there's still some of the bump edge. I lost this little dip and this little dip. And a wee little bit here that I just abraded off. Now I'm just going around cleaning up my edge so I can see where I'm at. Dip it back in. Look how pretty that is. If I heat treated that, it will turn, I think, bluish green. But, yeah. No need to heat treat it if you don't need to heat treat it. And, at least in my opinion. So, yeah. Not that my opinion counts everywhere. See? I need to knock this bump back a little bit. And yes, I'm hitting at or above center. That's how you save the width. Now look. If that was heat treated, it might have broke. I don't know. Maybe not. But we'll never know because it's not heat treated. See there? A nice pattern. We've got our one side just about done. Now we need to do a little bit of losing something. And I'm doing this, when I'm hitting this, I'm hitting at this angle because I want to make a steep edge. So, and it's like a continuous platform for me. And it doesn't have to be thick because the rock is strong and the steel is strong. Well, that flake ran into my finger and gave me a bumper. But now look, there's our thickness. Where's my measurer? Raw Flintridge. We got the measurer. We'll do the skinny spot. Inch and a half. Okay, and then we'll go here. A fat 3/16. So if it was a quarter, inch and a half would be 6-1. So this is about 7-1. And raw Flintridge. Let's recharge it. Our video is at 20, so we're just about ready to quit anyways. Now I got a little hump right there. I'm going to come from this little platform and take that out. There we go. You can see the patterns a little better. Come up to the tip here. We got some thick spot. I moved. There we go. Ready for some pressure flaking to shape, and we're at 20 minutes, 22 actually. We're gonna call it good. And if I cheated and went from the widest spot, 1.75 inches, and let's measure at the widest spot, 1/4. So 7-to-1. We're at 7-to-1, which is pretty good. Raw Flintridge. Have a great evening. Never be afraid to experiment. Never be afraid to do what people tell you can't be done, because it can. You can work flint with steel. You can work flint with copper. You can work flint with probably lead if you try hard enough. Good night. Well, guys, I finished it out to be a durable hunting point. There you go. Raw Flintridge. 2 little baby steps. Not bad, though. Sharp and ready to go.